Hey guys, welcome to the stream today. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whichever it happens to be where you're at. I am going to buy some more water here, even though we have 69, which is really nice. We are going to get up to 100. Before we head out. Turk Team, good morning, man. Good afternoon. Thank you for being here.
Safe travels.
Balant, good afternoon. Welcome to the stream, my friend. We're going to head down into the Badlands, and we're going to fight those ogres that we were fighting the other day. And I don't know if that is what is exclusively going to get us to 40, but we're gonna start there and see how we feel. You died today with your level 24 hunter. Rip, man. I'm sorry about that. I would say take a nap, sleep on it, and then go again. That's what I try to do. Lael, good afternoon, man. Thanks for stopping by. Mark Oz, welcome to the stream. 40 today. Yeah, I think so. We've got, you know, a little bit more than half a level. If we wanted to straight up grind it out, it would probably be like 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So, yeah. 40 and mount, yeah. That's the best part of being the Paladin, is it's not going to matter how much gold we end up with. I didn't do a great job of emptying the inventory, but we should be able to visit somebody to do that. We got water, and that's the important part. I'm still looking at this this blue shield, so what we have to have drop today is we need at least a decent green weapon. If we can get like a level 33 to level 35 like green one-hander, then I think I want to try Prot for a little bit. It might just be like for a little bit. It might not even be. I might hate it. You know what I mean? Like it might slow down our kill rate so much that the added survivability isn't worth it. I don't know, but I do want to find out because we've got like 200 more hours to go, and if we can do something a little bit different for some of that time, I think that's going to be better. Alex, man, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Turkton, you think I'll need a fast one-hander? Right on. I will keep that in mind. So we don't want something that's like 3.0. We want something like that's 1.5. So we're probably talking about a sword then more than a mace. So I'll be thinking about a one-hand sword. Maybe we can get anything to drop. If we just got like a standard level 35 of the bear sword with a fast speed, then that would be perfect. I'm not trying to be too picky. We've already got 2 blues to drop in the zone, so we got this offhand. Like an hour later, we got the helmet and then the shield. Ooh, not you guys. Not this group. Let's put a little skull on you. There you go. Who else do we have to worry about here? There's the giant, the elite giant. We have to be wary of him. Someone had mentioned a dragon, and I remember seeing a dragon in like Cataclysm era, but I haven't seen any dragons here this time around. Yeah, the shield was great. The great thing about the shield is like it was fighting an enemy that probably I shouldn't have been fighting because that giant was walking at us, and it was like literally the last enemy I was gonna fight before retreating from the giant, and I almost didn't fight it at all. I almost just got out of there. That was the really cool thing about it. It was like I was fighting something that I did not need to be fighting, and that's how it dropped. We're getting some pop-ups now because we accepted an invite to the Hardcore Enjoyers Guild yesterday, which is actually like a guild full of like 100 people who are active right now. So we're probably going to get pinged by some of the pop-ups. If that gets like super annoying to you guys, let me know and I will just disable them. Sometimes it's cool to see, but sometimes like on the weekends you get a lot of death notifications because people are logging on for the first time in the week and they're getting themselves killed. And sometimes it's a little sad. The dragons are in the east. I will probably be staying away from... You're talking about the area back here. We will be staying away from that area then, in that case. Luckily, I mean, we haven't had any quest that's asked us to go back there, so it's probably an area we can completely avoid. I did want to go after the ogres, and I just took this really southern circulous route that in no way took us to where we'll cut back up here, we'll fight all the wildlife, and then we'll end back at the ogres. Is it a normal thing for servers to go down on Saturdays? No. No, typically when they take the servers down, they do it on a Tuesday. Sometimes you'll see maintenance on like a Wednesday if there has to be like additional maintenance after a patch. I've never seen them plan a maintenance or take them down intentionally on a Saturday. Jackie Joe, good afternoon. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for stopping by. Leo, thank you, man. You too. Thanks for being here. Good afternoon, Monica. Miles, welcome, guys. Jason asked, how do I personally compare Classic Pally to the Warrior for overall enjoyment of gameplay? That's a tough one. I mean, honestly, listen, the Warrior is probably more fun because the Warrior is a bit more dynamic. You have some more buttons to push, and for like just pure fun and enjoyment of hitting the buttons, I would say the Warrior wins. What the Paladin kind of brings is like survivability, consistency, and get out of jail free cards. So if I was doing like a normal run, I would probably prefer the Warrior. But in hardcore, I've come to the conclusion that Warrior is basically impossible. Basically impossible to get it to 60. But it's fun to push the Warrior buttons, always. Am I planning on hardcore endgame content? Not really. Not on this character, at least. I have a feeling that we'll get this character to 60 right around the time the official hardcore servers open up, or maybe even like slightly after they open up. So I don't have like a big plan for any hardcore endgame content. What I will say though is like, if I took this character into a raid, I would fully expect him to die. Because I've never done the vanilla raids, so I am not super familiar with them. And even though I would watch like a video to kind of check things out and read about the mechanics, I know that like something happens sometimes where like, you know, people just die. You just die in a 40-man raid. It's expected that some people are going to go down to mechanics. And I would probably be one of those people. So, you know, my interest is completing the challenge. Once I've got this guy to 60, that's going to be challenge complete. And then we'll kind of see where we're at when we get there. Alex, every time someone's talked about catching up with me, they've died. So be careful, man. Be careful. 36, that's great. Oh, look at this. That's not what we wanted. They're green. We could probably just take them. Let's see how their quick attacks, like, eat through the armor. But I feel like we're fine. We'll get a heal after we take this one down. Ra, welcome to the stream, man. Thanks for being here. Yeah, it's gonna be a big day. Absolutely. Oh, Lael, is there stuff going on because of the Wrath patch? Because of the big TOC patch? Yeah, that sounds right. A lot of times they try to address stuff like the next day, like they patch on Tuesday, and then if they have outstanding things they have to fix, they usually try to go on Wednesday, but maybe this is stuff that's been like cumulative through the week that they have to get in there and address now. Sometimes they just do like rolling restarts that can take the realms down for a couple minutes, and they're usually back up. Alright, we're getting closer to the ogres, which was our initial goal before I led us way, way to the south. Turkey, he's a level 37 elite. As cool as that sounds, I'd probably have to be a few levels higher before I thought about taking on a level 37 elite, you know? Whitney, good afternoon. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for being here. We did get those 2 talent points back into Pursuit of Justice, yeah. And then we've been going up here into Benediction most recently. Which I don't feel like is saving us as much mana as you might think, but I guess it would be worse if we didn't have those talents. Because I still feel like we burn through mana pretty quickly. Yeah, in hardcore, easy is a term to be used very loosely because even if we had a couple levels on an elite, I feel like anything could still go wrong. And then with it being a chance to drop, you know, we could kill that elite a couple times and still not get it. We'll probably get something eventually, even if it's something from a quest. I don't know if there are any good one-handers that drop in either Scarlet Monastery Armory or Cathedral. I can't think of any, but it doesn't mean they don't exist. Cause yeah, I've been thinking about doing an Armory run, and yeah, I would like to be able to tank it, honestly. So I'd like to get a one-hander first. Because if I'm gonna do a dungeon, I would much rather be the tank than to be relying on somebody else to pull safely. Matthew, welcome to the stream, man. Thanks for being here. Yeah, we could get some decent gear out of Armory, but what I think about is like I think a lot of it's mail, So we'll be getting some mail gear, which will be great for us, but kind of at a point where we're more looking for plate. That's kind of the thing about the Scarlet Dungeons, is that they're, you know, they're giving us decent gear, but we're about to be out of that armor class. And then, like, we can get some weapons. And the thing is, if we do an armory run or any kind of run, I'm going to be needing on anything I can use. So don't be surprised if if it seems like I'm needing on everything I could use, because that's the exact thing I have to do. Even if we're there as a tank and a two-handed axe drops, like, I'm going to roll need on it because we could really, really use it. And that's kind of how I see that. Especially in a situation where you can only do a dungeon one time, I can't afford to be like, oh, I'll just give it to the arms warrior because he's here as DPS. Like, I can't have that mentality, and I don't think anybody should. I think if an item rolls that is an upgrade for you in a hardcore dungeon, you roll need on it. And that's what we'll be doing, so... if anybody has feelings about that, I figure it's best to call it out now. Just so you guys know what to expect if we do get into a run. Robertas, Siamac, welcome guys. Thank you for checking out the stream. Whatever we do for dungeons, we're gonna do it after we hit 40. So it might not be today, but we'll do it after we hit 40. I'd like to get that milestone first, and I feel like 40 is a good level for armory. Let's take a look actually. This should have the dungeons. Where was it? Here we go. Cathedral, library, armory, max level 45. It doesn't really give us a minimum level, which is fine, I guess. We probably... I don't think we want to be 45. I think for Armory, 40 should be fine. I feel like even 38 could be okay for Armory. Yeah. Now Cathedral, I might want to be like 41 or 42. Because Cathedral just has some crazy pulls that can happen once you get inside like the main building. We have killed all of the ogres, and surprisingly, uncharacteristically, they have not respawned on top of us. That really shows you when you're in an area that must be like super underpopulated. Yeah, we've got really nobody here in the Badlands. And so we don't have a respawn rate. Yes, Paul, we are going for 40 today. Absolutely. We might just be grinding it. I'm kind of thinking about what we could do. We could probably come down and do the large stone slabs to the south. But I kind of wanted to grind on these ogres up here for a while. The problem with them right now is that they're not respawning very quickly. So we might change our plans. Turkton, yeah, we've done a bunch of stuff in the Arathi Highlands. There might be a couple of things now that we can do in Alterac. I thought there would eventually be a quest to get the lieutenant insignias from people up in Alterac, but we never got that quest. So maybe it was part of a chain that I missed. The only thing here we could do now would be Wand over Fist, which would be fighting ogres to get back into a cave to get an item. And we could do the Bloodstone ore. This is decent. We could probably do that soon. But yeah, we don't have a lot of quests to do, like all in one area. We've just kind of got stuff here and there. We could probably do the jungle raptors pretty soon. Once we hit 40, I'll be more willing to go do some of these like disparate quests that are like level 38 to 40. But I feel like I'm gonna prioritize grinding to 40 first. 30 to 40 is a slog. But I just don't feel like it ever really gets any better or picks up. It gets a little better, I guess, once we can go into Tannerus and we can do the questing out of Kazakhstan. Then, like, that's like that's a bunch of quests, but you burn through them really, really quick, you know. Before you know it, you've collected all 50 of your pirate hats and, like, you're running out of stuff to do. And then we can't really go into Ungoro until we're, like, level 52. Feralus, we can do some stuff in, like, the mid-40s. So if we can get to 40, if we can use Tannerus to get to like the early 40s, we might be able to do some stuff in Feralus, which could get us to the later stuff in Tanner. You know, it's like you just kind of run out of stuff to do in Classic era. Yeah. Zephyr, good afternoon and good morning to you, my friend. Thank you for being here. Turkton, you think the Hinterlands might have some stuff for us? Yeah, we could probably do a couple of quests in the Hinterlands. I feel like the Hinterlands has more quests for the Horde than it does for Alliance. Because they have a little village out there. Let's see. Hinterlands. Not yet, yeah. Well, strangely, this should show me quest. It shows me a level 53. I don't know why it wouldn't show me the other ones. Probably a Questie setting. Gab, good morning. JSZZ, good afternoon. I am having a good weekend. I hope you are too, buddy. Hinterlands is 40 to 50, yeah. Alright, ogres, where are you at? There you go. I need to go somewhere where either the respawn rate's going to be higher or there just are more enemies to fight, because this is kind of slowing us down. Maybe we make our way down here. We can fight all of the millions of coyotes on the way, and maybe they'll drop more blues. Who knows? Oh, snap. Okay, these are elite trugs. Why? Why are you elite trugs? What are you doing up here? Why are you looking at me like that? Okay, yeah, I did not know about those guys. That's a little bit scary. They seem to be guarding some kind of cave entrance. Okay then. Yeah, I don't like that at all. Is that like a... No, it's not a... What is that? I have no idea what that cave's about. Or what's in there. I thought about the second entrance to Oldemon, but I don't think that's what it is, because I think Oldemon's on the opposite side of the map. Right? I don't think it's Oldemon. I mean, it could be. That'd be like a way far away back entrance, you know? That was kind of what I thought when I saw the elites, but... This zone also is the zone with the Conan reference? I don't know. I am not super sure. The only exposure that I have to Conan is like the Arnold Schwarzenegger Conan the Barbarian movies from the 80s. And like the last time I would have been exposed to that would have been a long time ago. So if a Conan reference like bit me, I wouldn't know it, you know. I wouldn't know a Conan reference. LS, I don't have an opinion, and even if I did have an opinion on stuff like that, I wouldn't talk about it here. I try really hard to not talk about either political things or like things happening on a global scale, because people get a lot of that info from like a lot better places than me. So yeah, I don't know or have an opinion, but yeah, if I did, I probably wouldn't talk about it here. I'll express whatever opinions you want to hear, like, about video games and stuff like that. Like, I'm definitely fine talking about, like, a wide variety of things. I just don't want to get into, like, geopolitics or any kind of politics, you know? It really doesn't even, like, talking about politics absolutely doesn't interest me, so it wouldn't even be like I'm not talking about something that I would normally talk about, because it's not stuff that I would talk about. Even like if we ran into each other in real life, I still wouldn't talk to you about it. You know? I try to leave the politics to the politicians and to the news anchors. You know, that's kind of their it's kind of their circus. Zephyr, no, I've never traveled outside of the States except to Canada, because, you know, living in Michigan, I can go through a tunnel underwater and I can be in Canada in like 25 minutes. And yeah, I'm not in a position to do a lot of international travel. I did a lot of travel in the States for my career when I was a training developer. So I traveled a lot in the States, but no, nothing overseas, and I don't have a big interest in flying over an ocean, so... Yeah, lots of trips to Canada when I was 19. That was it. The legal drinking age in Canada when I was young, you could drink in Canada when you were 19, but here in Michigan you had to wait till you were 21. So, you know, where I grew up, as soon as you turned 19, you just started going into Canada on the weekends. Not a super responsible thing to do, but it's what we did. Zephyr, how do I feel when drinking? Like an idiot. That's about all I can say. Kids don't drink or do drugs. Obviously. Look at this guy on his mount, just showing off right in front of us. How rude. I swear that I'm trying to take us to the south, but there's such a high density of enemies that it kind of feels like we're not making any progress. I might not fight through the trogs again. We might go around the trogs. I guess this guy just likes like pulling trains of mobs after him while he outruns them. That's like the second time we've seen him do that. He's gone in one direction and then he's gone back in another direction. If he were like any closer to me, I'd say he's trying to mess with me, but I don't even think he noticed us. I don't know what he's doing. Maybe he ran over here to grab a quest. I still don't think that when I get my mount, I'm gonna be like chaining mobs after me like that. That's like a good way to get dismounted and killed. Still doesn't seem very, very smart. Maybe he just got his mount. If he keeps at it like that, he's not going to have his mount for long. Because you don't want to chain like 5 guys after you. Like when one of them dismounts you, that's going to be it. And you know, they're going to dismount you right in the middle of other enemies. So then you're going to pull the shit that's around where you get dismounted too. Just not a good idea. It's not a good idea. Maybe if you had your epic riding and you could go like super fast, but you know, you don't have that at level 40 or 50. And like the base mount is not like super fast. This guy just has an elite quest that we can't do. Now this area right here, this is where we saw the wandering elite giant yesterday. He came from this direction, so I am trying to be vigilant. I'd like to put eyes on him so we can mark him with an X. And that way he'll be easier to spot in the future, but yeah, he'll probably come up on us at the worst time. I don't think there's a chance he comes from the other direction, but you know, that's possible too. Hurrah, it doesn't even have to be like a super nice one-hander. Yeah, if there's like a quest reward that gives us an I'll take an at-level green. If we can get an at-level green, then I'll respec. And then like, either tomorrow or Monday, that'll allow us to try to run a dungeon. We'll try. I gotta think about it some more, but I keep thinking that if we do a Scarlet dungeon, I think that like no matter what happens, I could probably run us out. If like stuff goes horribly sideways. The only caveat to that is you guys have to be okay with the fact that I might need to like abandon 4 other people to their death. You know what I mean? Like, you guys are gonna have to be okay with that. Because that might happen if something just goes horribly wrong and I don't think we're gonna make it. I'm gonna create a macro for the chat that'll be like run, 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 so that people know when I'm gonna run, because I'll be tanking it, you know? So I'll try to create like a chat macro that I can hit them with if I am gonna have to like just straight up flee. But this might happen, you know? It could happen because of something I do. I could pull 7 guys on accident and have to run for the dungeon entrance. But just be aware that could happen. We can't bubble hearth though. we can't bubble hearth. It's against the hardcore rules. But we can bubble run. And in the shorter dungeons, like the Scarlet ones, we have a good chance of getting out just fine. But not everyone's gonna make it. Because what we're gonna do is we're gonna keep our pursuit of justice talent, no matter what build we go with, and we are gonna be outrunning everybody. Because we don't have to outrun every elite in the dungeon, we just have to outrun the other players. So as long as you guys can get on board with that, then maybe we do a Scarlet Armory. Yeah, we can't bubble hearth out. But we can bubble run like hell. Which, you know, with a fast running speed is going to be essentially the same thing. But what's going to happen is we're probably going to be sacrificing members of the group to get out. The healer's going to die first. And then it's going to be whoever was next on the threat chain after us, because we're going to be so far away at that point. What about like a druid like rooting somebody in hearthing? Like, can you use like roots and then hearth out? Is that against some kind of rules? Like if I root somebody, you know, 15 yards away and I start running my Hearthstone, like I'm going to get that cast off before they get to me, I'm pretty sure. So like, is that against the rules? Has anyone thought about that? What about Stoneclaw Totem Hearth? If I pull a guy and I drop my Stoneclaw Totem, I can hearth out. You know, I think I have enough time to do that. Is that against the rules? Has anybody like considered those other options? Because basically with the bubble, you're creating a situation where the enemy can't hit you, and you have time to hearth out. And you can create that situation in a couple different ways. Can you sheep in hearth out? You know, that's something that a mage could do. You could sheep an elite and just pop yourself out. Alex, do you think the bubble hearth is an unwritten rule? I feel like that's the only one that's almost like a written rule. I don't think anybody has addressed any of the other situations that I described, but I feel like the bubble hearthing is like a thing that's just straight up against the written rules. And someone said that it also applies to priest and power word shield. So like I get it and I don't get it. Because what it's trying to do, it's trying to solve a class imbalance. But all the classes are effing imbalanced, especially when we're talking about hardcore. The classes are innately not balanced at all. Paladin is already, like, at what point do you start saying, okay, Paladins, you can't have 3 bubbles, you're only allowed to train 1 bubble per run. Like, at what point do you start imposing shit like that just to make there be some kind of class balance that, like, is impossible to achieve and, like, nobody's asked for? Yeah, I feel like the bubble hearth rule is kind of bullshit. I'm not going to do it myself. But I do feel like you should be able to do whatever you can do with your class. I don't feel like there should be an arbitrary rule telling you how you can survive and how you can't survive. I think that is kind of stupid. It's a written rule because Vanish, Feign Death, Sheep can all fail, Bubble cannot. Sure. Oh, I get it. It's a class imbalance. Why are we trying to solve class imbalances? Who cares? It's a hardcore challenge. If you want it to be easier, you go on a paladin or a priest already, right? It already makes it easier. It's already not balanced. Your ability to survive on a paladin is 300% more than it would be on a warrior of the same level and with the same gear. That's already imbalanced as fuck. I've been in so many situations that you guys have seen where any other class would have gotten killed, but the bubble itself is so powerful that yes, the bubble makes the class imbalanced. But the bubble is part of the class. Just like Power Word Shield is part of the priest. Just like roots are part of the druid. Just like sheep is part of the mage. Some classes have more little tools than others. That's part of your class choice when you set out on a run. Yeah, Alex, the warlock can sacrifice their Voidwalker for a bubble, right? And that's great. We should be able to do whatever we can with our class. And we have a Hearthstone and it works how it works. You know, they could make it so that you can't Hearth in combat. That could be a change, you know. You just can't Hearth in combat. You can't use it. And then that would hit everybody. You know, that would make sure that nobody can pull a little trick of their class and Hearth out. If that's what you were really interested in was balance, then you would achieve that not by limiting some classes and not others. You would achieve that by saying, okay, you are engaged with an enemy. The Hearthstone doesn't work. It doesn't work. Yeah, I think anything that lets you incapacitate an enemy and Hearth out is the same as a bubble Hearth. If you've done something to totally lock the enemy down to where they can't stop you from getting the cast off, it's the same thing. Yeah, Zephyr, right now all the hardcore rules are completely made up by the community. Yeah. It's completely arbitrary and it's all made up. Yeah. It's all made up. People's opinions of things at one point formed the rules that we use. Yep, and probably just a handful of people ultimately decided what the rules are that we're using. Oh, we finished this quest like super fast. We're done with it. I didn't even notice a single item pickup. I'm very like on point today. Obviously. Karen, good evening. Thank you for stopping by the stream. We've also passed the halfway point to 40, so we're more than halfway through the level, which is great. I think that the hardcore rules need looking at, and I think there are things that need to change, and I think there are things that don't need to change, but that could change to make the game mode a little bit more enjoyable. And I think the less arbitrary restrictions you place on people and how they play, the better. That's kind of what I feel like. The rules are made up and the points don't matter. Yeah, exactly. So, I guess we can go turn this one in. That'll get us a little bit of XP. Do I want to farm these guys, or would I rather go back to farming the ogres? You know, the cool thing about these guys is that they don't run, they don't use magic, and there seem to be a lot of them. And with the ogres, we were just kind of killing them, and they weren't respawning fast enough to really farm them effectively. Yeah, I mean, you're right, Peacell. It's all totally made up. You can play how you want. I think we do see a lot of that actually happens, you know. I'm sure that a lot of people who are doing the hardcore challenge, you see it as a self-imposed challenge, then, you know, that kind of frees you up to obey whatever rules you want. Which is fine. It doesn't really create a level playing field, and some people engage more with a challenge when they know that everyone is held to the same rules. And so that's one good call for, like, actual rules to be baked in. But yeah, right now it's just whatever. I've seen people die and then res, and it's like, well, they're not really doing the challenge. I'm sure there are people that bubble themselves in Hearth. I'm sure, you know, I'm sure people do these things. Because ultimately, you know, you're not governed by any actual rules. It's, yeah. It's self-imposed. I think that'll be a little bit different once we get onto the official servers, because certain things will be baked in. And that's at a point where, like, if we get to official hardcore Blizzard servers, and I can pop a bubble in Hearth, and the game lets me do that, then that is the rule. The rule is we're allowed to do it. Does that make sense? Like, right now, all the rules are made up, so, like, we have to kind of obey them if we're doing the challenge. But once we get to the official servers, like, I'm not going to be following any rule that's not baked into the server. So, yeah. I hope they've thought about that. I'm Cheese. It's a written, unwritten rule. No, you're not supposed to bubble and then Hearth, because people think it's unbalanced and overpowered. You know, like the entire Paladin class basically is. Same thing with the Priest, like you can't power word shield and Hearth out, you know. But it's probably fine. Every class has a way of, like, stopping an enemy for the most part, and giving themselves the opportunity to Hearth out without being damaged. And the bubble is just one of those ways, so... JK Barber, I probably just backed myself off the cliffside. I don't think he had a knockback. None of these guys have really done anything. That was probably just me pushing myself off the cliff. I was probably just doing one of these. Let's fight our way over to the quest turn-in. It's like across the map. I'm sure we'll fight like 20 enemies between here and there. What I should have done is, I should have in the meantime, I should have respec'd into Seal of Command. With the slower weapon, that might be netting us some higher damage. If I had at least done that. I should have did that right when we got the mace. Which at this point was a while ago. I just feel like we burn so much mana. With the build we have, where we're judging Seal of the Crusader, and then we're like spam judging Seal of Righteousness. It's a lot of mana every pull, and then we usually have to toss ourselves a big heal, and that's a lot of mana. It's like basically we can go 2 fights basically before we absolutely have to drink. I'd like to get to the point where we can go 3 fights. 3 fights feels like a more magical number. Ooh, damn, what are you? You are a non-aggressive, level 55 elite. Okay, well thank Christ that you're not aggressive, because I think the draw distance there rendered him when we were like 10 yards away. And I can't do anything to tell the game to like have a deeper draw distance. It just pops, that's as soon as it popped it in. Miles, it's a hot one there today. Yeah, it's probably not as hot here, but it is a hotter day here too. You want me to go to a snowy place? If I look behind me, my wife is playing in the Dwarven lands in Loch Modan, and by Loch Modan I do mean Dunmorrow. Yeah, she's in Dunmorrow right now, on a human mage. I showed her how to do a little bit of zone hopping. Once the quests over in Elwyn were getting to a stupidly high level. Yeah, we went outside earlier and it said it was 73 outside, but it already felt like 80, and that was at like 10 o'clock in the morning. The high is supposed to be 84, but it's probably going to be more like 89 in reality. There's going to be a crap ton of humidity, and it's going to be miserable. It's a good day to be inside playing video games. Absolutely. Whitney, you can definitely lurk. I definitely appreciate everybody lurking. If I watch streams, I would probably only exclusively lurk. Yeah, the air soup, where like when you walk outside and you breathe, it feels like you're inhaling a liquid. And something in your lizard brain tells you this is wrong. You can't breathe this. Go back inside. Yep. Yeah, Ohio, you're probably seeing like the same exact weather, basically. Right, it's always summer in Arizona. Yeah, that sounds awful for me, man. That's a place that I could never live. Firstly, scorpions. Which are the only bugs that I will kill on sight, because I feel like scorpions are designed just to hurt things. Yeah. And yeah, the heat all year, I couldn't live. I'd probably get really effing depressed and not realize like what was causing it, you know? It probably is amazing for people who can like tolerate the heat. I have like basically zero heat tolerance. Once it's above 75 degrees, like if the sun is hitting me, I don't feel good. It's not fun. And I like to be outside, so I like it when it's cooler out. See, for me 70 degrees is hot. That's the problem. Unless it's like a cloudy, rainy 70 degrees, and then that would probably be comfortable. But if it's a sunny, bright sunny day, not a cloud in the sky type of 70, well, the sun is still going to be cooking my skin and my insides. And I don't appreciate that. The amount of enemies that they managed to put on this map is actually really impressive. There are so many random wildlife spawns. I feel like more so than any other zone that we've been in so far. There are just so many wildlife spawns. Whether it's vultures or cats or coyotes, we can't go like more than a few feet without running into something. It's pretty impressive. Can we grab this? We can actually. It's a silver node. We are seeing a lot of crits. A lot of big white swing crits. 350, 364. Zephyr, what's the usual weekend activity we plan as a family? We don't try to plan things that are that consistently a thing. If the weather's nice, we try to get outside. We like to go hiking. We have some decent trails nearby where we can like pick from different paths and stuff. It's a pretty neat place. And so yeah, we try to get outside when it's nice, but when it's hot AF, we just tend to stay inside. Yeah. And everybody just kind of relaxes. I mean, you see me sitting here playing video games on a Saturday afternoon. It's like, that's pretty indicative of what we'll do, unless the weather is absolutely gorgeous.
Can I help you?
Alright, he's pretty happy with us. Now he wants 5 bracers of rock binding.
Off and away.
What is this one about? This one is not done in the zone anywhere. What are we doing with this? Let's see. Bring 5 bracers. It doesn't really talk about where we're getting them. From the Greater Rock Elementals. It says we can find them here, it just doesn't mark it on Questie. Very, very strange. Oh no, it does mark them. I didn't see them. They're all the way down here. At the very corner of the map. Perfect. We're not doing that yet. It's level 42. Oh yeah, Zephyr, you had to put off your plans. Yeah. Yep. I mean, I think we can all agree that it messed up a lot of things and changed a lot of things, so that they no longer you no longer do the things the same way after that. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty much back to normal now, but. Dragon's Bane. Oh man, you got the 45 and died last night? That's tough, man. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, unfortunately, the pandemic is on the YouTube list of things that I can't talk about. It's on the YouTube list of things I can't even talk about. Because I'm sure YouTube still has some interesting restrictions in place for people talking about it. And I don't even want to cope with any of that. I think I want to make our way back over to the Ogres. It seems like we're probably going to end up grinding the rest of the level out. I really don't have any other ideas on where we could go and easily do some questing, so we'll just keep fighting everything here, and maybe if we're really lucky, we'll see some more cool drops. Sleeping enough helped you, Dragon's Bane? Yeah, it always is good for me. I try to nap as soon as I can after losing a character. And then it just kind of like helps your brain reset. I'm glad you take responsibility for your own death though. I feel like that's a healthy way of looking at it. I always realize that when I die, it's because of something stupid that I did. A couple of times it's been just because of respawns, but in a way that's also like me not playing smart enough. So. Inventory's full. That's really sad. Let's go down and sell everything over here. That is a good idea. Brisk, I'm doing well, man. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. We're aiming for 40 today, so... And we're gonna grind our way there, it seems. Alright, here's the convoy of the ogres. Let's mark them with something. There we go. Look at the X. And so the only one we haven't seen today, we haven't seen the giant elite. We've seen the vulture and now the ogres. And so we're gonna keep our eyes open for the giant because we're gonna encounter him at some point. It's impossible basically that we don't. Canon G, welcome to the stream, man. Thanks for being here. Yep, we're gonna get our mount at 40. We're gonna go to the class trainer and we're gonna get it as a spell. Because we don't have to buy the mount and we don't have to buy the training, we just get to learn it as a spell. Because paladins are overpowered. I guess I could sell the umbral crystal. We don't need that. Let's go ahead and sell it. Oh yeah, Cannon, you think it's gonna feel pretty fast stacked with the talent? Yeah, I didn't really think about that. I've been thinking about that talent more for like ground movement, but yeah, it's gonna apply to the mount speed also, isn't it? That's gonna be cool. Let's use one of these scrolls of intellect. And we are good to go. There's not also Crusader aura in vanilla, is there? Where we get like the aura that increases the mounted run speed? Was that something they put in Wrath of the Lich King? I figured that would be too good to be true. You know, if we can stack that to get even faster, that probably would be too overpowered anyway. It was TBC. Yeah, right on. That makes sense. Joe, on the Tauren Shaman, for the next hardcore run, we're going to do Herbalism Alchemy. In the future, I'll probably always do Herbalism Alchemy, and if I don't want to do that, I'll just do Herbalism Skinning, and then we'll sell everything. But yeah, for the Shaman, I want to have the potions. I want to have the potions and the elixirs. Yeah, in that scenario, we would just be selling it on to the vendors. But, yeah. For the Shaman, we're going to do Alchemy, so we're not going to be selling a lot of the materials at all. What we're going to have to do on the Shaman is we're going to have to, like, do some actual gold farming as we get into the high level 30s. Like, probably starting around, like, level 35 or 36. We're going to actually have to, like, grind a lot just to get money for the mount. We're probably going to be grinding right here. This is where I remember grinding on my first warrior way back in the day to get his mount money. Well, it's like some of it was in Stranglethorn, and then as I got a little higher level, I came here to the Badlands. So, yeah. And Joe, we've had so many talks about that, man. I don't love the sound of my own voice enough to repeat it. Because I know I've talked lots about it. David, am I doing auto attack only? It probably looks like that. It is mostly auto attack on the Pally. Yeah, what we're doing is we're doing Seal of Crusader. We're judging that on the enemy. That's giving us more holy damage, and that's important because then we're using Seal of Righteousness, which gives us holy damage on the swing as well as when we judge it. So, yeah, but a lot of our damage is white swing damage, absolutely. In Classic Era, you don't have Crusader Strike or any of those cool buttons to push. So see, we put our seal up, we put up Righteousness now, and then on every swing with Righteousness up, we're getting a little bit of holy damage, which is being increased by having Crusader on the enemy. And then we can judge Righteousness on cooldown for extra holy damage. Yep, we're killing mobs till 40. Mm-hmm. That's what we're doing. I have no buff food right now, so yeah. We need to do some fishing, and then I can make some food. But that is not going to be tonight, and it might not happen until next week. But yeah, no buff food for us. And I don't think it's not a thing we could find on vendors, right? I know sometimes we get buff food from completing quests. But I don't think I've ever seen buff food for sale on like a cook or a vendor. But maybe I just haven't been looking for it. How's the duct tape doing on the banner? Yeah, it stayed up overnight, so which means it's due to fall down at any moment. Yeah, it seems like it's fine for now. I wish I could get the command hooks just to work, but I don't have a good solution for it right now. JK Barber, the Tauren Shaman's going to be the hardcore character that we do on the official Blizzard servers. Yep, hopefully it'll be our one and only. That's kind of my goal with it. I'd like to have it be a one and only type thing. So yeah, I don't have a big interest in getting a bunch of characters killed off, so I'm hoping that it works out. I feel like what the Horde has, it's like some of the areas are a little bit easier with the types of enemies you come up against, but for me, more importantly, is like if we're going to do dungeons, it has such an easier time traveling to all of the dungeons. The only one that you don't really get to do, well, two of them, right? You don't really get to do stockades, and you can do dead mines, but it's hard for the Horde to do dead mines, but it's hard for the Alliance to do, like, everything. It's hard for the Alliance to get the Wailing Caverns, it's hard for the Alliance to get the Shadowfang Keep, it's hard for the Alliance to get the Scarlet Monastery. It's like, doing dungeons on the Alliance is not the way to go. It's not the way to go. Yeah, I'm getting excited for the mount. You know, we still got like an hour and a half, 2 hours of grinding to go, so I'm like, I'm not letting myself get super excited yet. I'll be excited when we're going to train it, you know. Technically, we could still die between now and then. We've got lots of gameplay to go. Thomas, I'm glad that you're enjoying the content, and I'm glad that it has helped you find a way to enjoy WoW. That's awesome. Yeah, when I started playing WoW on the channel, like, that was me also playing WoW in a different way, because the way I used to play WoW was just like run through, grab all the quests, don't read any of it, level as fast as possible, and then do endgame stuff with my guild. Like, that was how I played WoW for like most of my WoW career. And a part of me like always wanted to slow down and read those quests, but when you're playing with friends and they're urging you, come on, let's go, let's go, let's go, gotta level, you know, it's hard to like make yourself take that time with the game. And yeah, now I get to experience it in like an entirely different way. It's been like a really awesome journey. I would have loved to give them a buff and to check their hardcore tab, but they skedaddled on out of here. I need a happy Saturday to you. Thanks for stopping by the stream. That's awesome. Thanks for being here. Anthony, welcome to the stream, man. Thanks for being here. Yeah, Joe, we have quests to do in different parts of the world right now, but nothing that I'm too keen to go jump on at the moment. For the moment, I am perfectly happy just fighting these guys. Basically, I'm happy fighting anything here in the Badlands. We've had some really lucky drops, and I'm just kind of hoping that maybe that luck continues. Whitney Goomba. Goomba's a bad boy. Yeah. Yesterday, he got himself down into the basement when no one was around, and he found a roll of paper towel. And he had his way with that paper towel roll, and I think the bigger dog might have helped him a little bit. But yeah, he's around somewhere, but he's on his stair bed. He's sleeping at the top of the stairs, apparently. Because, yeah, he's had some troubles in the basement. He can't seem to control himself. Anita, we'd gotten a blue caster offhand had dropped. You know, not something we can use, but it was still a blue drop. And then we also got this plate helmet, which is going to be awesome because we'll be able to throw that on as soon as we train at level 40. And yeah, the other thing was like it was like a blue offhand caster item that would have been good for like a warlock or like a priest or something. Yeah, ultimately, Goomba's problem yesterday was that it was really rainy and muddy here, and we don't spend a lot of time outside with the dogs when it's rainy and muddy, because then they get rainy and muddy. And he wasn't happy that he did not get to go outside and eat the grass and roll around in the dirt, because that's what he really wanted to do with his day. And he gets used to we usually go outside like at least twice for like a half hour, 40 minutes. So he's used to getting that consistent outdoor time, and he didn't get it yesterday, but he ripped up some paper towel a couple different times. He was on a rampage. So, yeah. He's welcome to come down here, but right now he's just sleeping at the top of the stairs. I think he remembers being down here and being a bad dog. The other cool thing about hitting level 40 is that from the stats that someone told me, it puts us in the 1% of created hardcore characters. Oh, look at this. Oh, it's not plate. I saw of the bear and I got really excited. What are we wearing for the waist? That's one more strength than what we have, so it's not a huge upgrade, but you know, it's a green drop that we can equip, so yeah, that still falls under the category of a decent drop. But yeah, we'll be in the 1% of created hardcore characters. I guess like 1% make it to 40. So, yeah. That's interesting. It's probably going to be another thing where like once we get into Tannerus, we're probably hardly ever going to see another player. It's going to feel very different than like the first 30 levels felt, where we were surrounded by people all the time. Yes, exactly. We've come far from the days of Westfall where we couldn't tag the mobs we needed because there were too many people. Yeah, even trying to tag like the pillagers was a huge pain. It's like it's the mob that you don't even want to fight, but then like not only do you not want to fight it, you can't even get the tags for it that you need. It just is like a double slap in the face. But yeah, there will always be something kind of charming about those lower levels because you get to play with so many other people around at the same time. Whereas like every time you log in, it feels like a launch night or a patch day. Oh, we got a ring now, a ring of the bear. So I asked for of the bear stuff when I asked for a one-hander, and instead of a one-hander, the universe has put forth 2 items, and we definitely need this ring because I have like an arcane ring on. Yeah, arcane resistance. We can go ahead and drop that for an of the bear ring, which is awesome. This is what I meant about this area giving us decent drops. It's been very, very kind to us. I almost wonder, and it's probably not, it's not how it works, but I imagine like almost the fewer people in an area fighting the mobs, the more stuff is like left on their loot table. Kind of, if that makes sense, you know what I mean? Like just the less people fighting the mobs, like those items stay on the loot table. Like just imagine a big bag of potential loot for everything in the zone, and like we're reaching our hands in, and there's not a lot of other hands going in. So then like the ability for us to pull greens and blues is probably higher because of that. And that's not really the way that it works, but that's almost how it feels like it's working. Miles, yeah, good vibes from the Badlands. Yeah. It sounds like it's like an oxymoron, but the zone has been good to us. So, yeah. I mean, I should knock on wood or something, but it's been okay. Alex, absolutely RNG doesn't work that way, yeah. It feels like that, like, I like the visual idea of what I propose, but yes, I absolutely don't think that it really works that way. It'd be cool, kind of, if it did, and kind of the idea we discussed yesterday, which is like, I wish that if you grind on one type of enemy, I wish the probability of them dropping something good off their loot table went up with each kill, like by like fractions of a percent. Just pushing you closer and closer and closer to getting that green or getting that blue. That would be cool if RNG kind of was like cumulative and you could increase your odds by just fighting the same enemies for a while. I guess technically you do, right? I mean, every time you don't loot a good item, it increases your chance to loot a good item. Sort of. DLR 7500, thank you for being here, man. Yeah, this has been a really good run, and it's been a good run because the class is really powerful, and it's been a good run because of you guys helping me stay out of trouble and keep a level head. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you checking out the stream. Thomas, good evening, man. Thanks for being here and hanging out. I appreciate that. I also watch my YouTube on the big screen. Yeah, it's easy to have it on there and just be able to listen to it as I move about the house and do other things. or, you know, settle down with it. I feel like eventually I want to try to get to this item. How cool would it be to even be able to like click on the thing that gives this quest? Let's see. I'm kind of interested to know if I pull one of these guys, are they going to run around the ramp and pull everybody? Let's just find out what they do and how they behave. Oh, that was not the way to do it. Oh, but look at this. We're fine here. Oh, this could actually be good. All we have to do is we have to stun lock this guy when he goes to run away. But this is great that we can get down here and we're not aggroing. Probably in a minute here we'll have to stun him. We'll do this. He's got to take off any second. There's the run, there's the stun. And one more judgment. Oh, let's get him. We got him. Okay, perfect, perfect, perfect. Perfect. Nerdstrong, welcome to the stream, and thanks for being here. Yeah, Miles says, or that, yeah, or we fall into the hole. We either try to do something clever, or we fall into the hole. In this case, we fall into hole. It was very close, yeah. We could have bubbled and gotten out of here okay. But yeah, this might let us actually get down here. Let's pull the next one. And we'll do the same thing with him. I probably should have waited a little bit longer to have the Hammer of Justice up, but we'll white swing at him for a minute. Ooh, and we'll hope we don't crit too many more times. 8 seconds. Maybe I should get a heal here to stop hitting him for a minute. Yeah, that was probably a good idea. We'll lock him in place and finish him with a judgment. Okay, perfect. This guy over here is next. I do kind of have to hang out, and I want to wait until we have Hammer of Justice coming off cooldown. My only worry kind of is respawns, but the respawn rate has been so low that that might not be an issue. But let's wait a couple more seconds. Vitaly, face the mob in the direction you want them to run. Sometimes that works, and sometimes they just it's kind of random. Yeah, like sometimes they will kind of run through you, but there's as many times that they will about face. And I feel like any illusion of like control over where they run is just an illusion sometimes. And like I'm not 100%, but it does seem like they just it's kind of random. Alright, that was not ideal, but it's fine. These guys are actually so weak compared to us right now that it's fine. We could have probably handled a 2-pull even, like at the same time, and it would have been okay. Let's try to save the stun. Maybe we can just... Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Okay, let's back off. We'll heal up. We'll mana up. And then we'll try to figure this out. I feel like, you know, we're down in the hole and the item is probably up here, right? Now that we've cleared out the hole, we now know that the item is not down here. So where is the item? It's got to be back here, but I hover my mouse over and I find nothing to click on. But yeah, it's straight here, so maybe that barrel has something to do with it. now that we've cleared out the hole for no reason, let's head over this way. Thomas, I'm trying to get back to this quest. It's some kind of pickup that's going to start a quest, and I don't know. We thought maybe it was the outhouse, but it's not the outhouse. So it's got to be something back here. Oh, there it is. It's a crumpled map. Okay, yeah, we can get to that. Let's clear this guy out first. It sucks that we had to fall into Scary Hole, but it turned out to be okay. We're a higher enough level now that we're not aggroing the second caster. And that's going to be what lets us do this. We might have to run from this, though. Yeah, let's run from this. Let's see if we start taking hits, we can pop a shield. We're taking a couple hits. Let's pop the shield in case. We had that issue the one time where the guy never de-aggroed. So, yeah, I'm going to pop the shield here, and we'll leash him eventually. Okay, we got him leashed. Okay. Good, good, good. Okay. Alright, slow and steady. And now, how are we going to take the next two? Yeah. That's a tough one. I don't really know how we're going to deal with the next two. Hage, man, welcome. I appreciate that. Thanks for stopping by, even though you're at work. I appreciate that, man. Thomas, it didn't go to plan, not at all. How do we do the next part? Do I do something tricky and maybe try to pull them through the wall? Yeah, because there are two of them here. Yeah, maybe we still can't do this one. I don't feel like risking the biscuit for that quest. The shadow bolts hurt so much that I worry about standing toe-to-toe with them, and standing toe-to-toe is all we can really do there. There isn't a good way to pull them out. It's not like with a melee guy where we can get two melee guys chasing us and one of them we can leash and the other will stay. With the casters, it's not going to work like that. We're going to be taking way too many shadow bolts right to the face. And we don't want that. Yeah, let's not bother with it. It's really unfortunate that they buried the quest back there like that. I mean, it would suck to tackle that not on hardcore, because the only way to get to it is you're gonna die. You're gonna die once to get to it, you know what I mean? Like, you could go do the fight, you could kill the one guy, the other guy's probably gonna kill you. And so even if we were playing the game normally, that would still kind of suck. It always sucks when you don't see an alternative to dying. And it becomes part of the game plan. It can't be part of the game plan here for us, so we are probably just gonna miss out on that quest. Chat, yeah, as soon as the stream ends, the VOD is already up. That's kind of the great thing about streaming on YouTube for me, is that the VOD is already up. I keep them all in a playlist, so they're all in a playlist. And the playlist started with recorded videos, so those are in the playlist too. Like 1 through 20, I think, was recorded, then after that was streamed. But yeah, they all go up as VODs as soon as the stream ends. It's pretty awesome. Yeah, hardcore is one life, so we can't die. I mean, we can die. We just can't delete the character, you know. It's all about just staying alive. That's where the difficulty comes in. It's like the game is still the same. There are just some rules that we have to abide by, and the biggest rule is that we can't die. Yeah, and the game is definitely designed to kill you lots, so that's where the challenge comes in. is that obviously the game was never designed to have a character only have one life. It was designed to get you killed over and over and over again. So yeah. Therein is the challenge. Yeah, basically is that, yeah, in hardcore you do want to play safer, so staying in like a lower level zone is preferable when you can do that. With quests, you really can't. After a while, it gets hard to do quests that are lower level than you, so yeah, if you resort to grinding like kind of like how we're doing, then fighting lower level stuff is the best way to go for most classes. Me personally, I kind of like them to be a little bit closer to my level, just because on the Paladin, our kill rate is slow anyway. Even against weaker enemies, so I'd almost rather on the Paladin fight stuff that's a little bit higher level, that way the XP per kill is worth more, because I'm burning through the same amount of mana, whether I'm fighting a level 36 guy that's green, or a level 38 guy that's yellow. So, yeah. That's why I kind of liked the Ogres over in the corner, is that they were a little bit of a higher level on average. Like, these guys aren't given a lot of kill XP. But I'm still burning through mana to fight them. And especially if I were on a class that didn't have heals or didn't have like escape buttons, then I would probably just stick to fighting lower level stuff. You can do a little bit more when you have heal buttons and bubbles. Yeah, Stranglethorn wouldn't be bad either. I feel like the lines of sight in Stranglethorn are a little bit worse. Like here, there's not any trees, so stuff's kind of open. That being said, Stranglethorn is like kind of a prettier aesthetic. And yeah, I wouldn't mind having done some of this somewhere else, but yeah, at the same time, the Badlands, you know, everything's open. The mobs don't really hide. Usually they don't hide. Whereas to your point, in Stranglethorn, it can get pretty dangerous because you just don't have clean line of sight at everything. And if you're me, you find the one Crocolisk on the beach that's an elite and you keep trying to attack it over and over again. Also not very safe. That's what happened the last time we were grinding in Stranglethorn, is I just ran up to an elite. And I got half his health gone before I realized he was an elite. Yeah, and that wasn't the first time that I've accidentally kept trying to tangle with that guy either. Like, it feels like every time I'm in that area, I end up going after that Crocolisk. And he just hangs out there. He hangs out there right at the end of a line of other Crocolisk, like he's completely normal. One day we are going to kill him. When I'm a couple levels higher, we're just going to go kill him at least once. I've fought him too many times at this point to not eventually kill him. Had I not panicked, we might have been able to kill him last time. If instead of running I'd got a heal off, I feel like we were doing okay against him. It will be revenge, yeah. Revenge from how many times I've engaged him and then had to run away. Alex, you came back for the vulture we saw? That's fair, yeah. Absolutely. I think it's absolutely fair to seek revenge on elites who have either killed you or who just have caused you no end of hassle. I want the hardcore rules revised so that we can group up to kill elites, because I feel like they are in the world, they should be killed at their level. And it would be so nice to be able to jump into a group with somebody and take on elite things. There's lots of elite stuff in the game to do that on hardcore you get to miss all that content because you don't get to do any of it. And that's kind of it. I'd like them to have I don't want to see any rules on the hardcore server that are not baked in. So if they're not going to physically stop the game from letting you group up in the open world, then I want to be able to group up in the open world to do elite stuff. They need to figure out a way to make it work. I don't think the future of hardcore is people trying to arbitrarily follow rules that aren't simply baked into the game. I don't think that has the same kind of longevity as using actual server rules to kind of give the guidelines forcefully. Yeah, that's good. They're good for drops, but also like a lot of the quest rewards for doing the elite quest, like those give good items. And so by not being able to really do that stuff as we level up, we're missing out on all those items. So like not only, it's like a double hit. Not only with the made up rules can you not run dungeons more than once, so that's already a made up rule. That's already limiting you, even if you're a person who's super willing to risk it in a 5-man, you can't, because you're limited. And then you can't do the elite quest when they're at level with you, because you can't group up. So it does kind of create a huge gear vacuum that becomes really hard to fill the void. And the thing about it is this also, if they don't bake in all of the rules they want, then we're still going to have to use the add-on for verification. Right? Like, if Blizzard can't bake in all of the rules that they want, then we're still going to have to use the add-on to verify against the other made-up rules. It could end up being really strange if they try to have a bunch of arbitrary rules, but that they can't actually make the server behave that way. It's going to get weird. Because we're still going to be using the stupid add-on. We're still going to be using the add-on. I'm still going to be checking everybody's verification status when I see them. You know, there's still going to be ways to disable the add-on and cheat. So, I'm worried. The more I think about it, the more I see, like, potential problems. We've got... Oh, this looks deceiving. We have 2 cats hitting us right now, guys. It's not 1 cat. It's 2 cats that were actually standing right on top of each other. We leased one of them. We leased the other one. Let's finish off the vulture. Yeah, that was fun. They were stacked on each other in such a way that they hit me a couple times before I realized that there were 2 of them. That's the first that we've encountered that. Nerdstrong, you think that the official hardcore is just going to be the death rule? That they won't prohibit trading? Yep. Yeah. I feel like that's probably what they would do. Because how could they program all the other stuff? And then if they do that, like, I have problems with that too, though. Like, I have problems with opening up the auction house to everybody. I have problems with trading. Like, I have a lot of problems. What it's gonna... If they open up all that stuff... And you can trade amongst characters, and you can use the auction house. If they do that, then only the first wave of hardcore on that server is going to matter to me. Because everything after the first wave of people is going to be people feeding their alt stuff from higher level characters. Whether it's gold, or gear, or whatever it is. It's either that, or like people's friends will feed them stuff. And to me, that's against the spirit of hardcore, so... Yeah. So it'll be like the first wave will be meaningful to me, and then everything after that I won't really care to engage with it anymore. That's how I want to approach the run anyways. I'd like to just do the one character, miraculously get him to 60, and then not have to do another character. Yeah, it'll be level 1 twinks. Yeah, absolutely. These cats are seemingly out to get us. I'm not really enjoying how many times in the last couple minutes I've been jumped by stealth cats. I do see another one ahead of us. And yeah, I'm not really digging this area right now. We're about to go back to the ogres. And just deal with their shitty spawn rates. And I think a lot of people will feel like I feel if they do open up the auction house to everybody at every level, and there is character and player trading. I think eventually a lot of people will feel like it takes the point out of the challenge for them. And then you'll see a big drop in engagement. You'll see a big drop in hardcore engagement, and then, you know, we'll get a new season of Classic Era, so maybe everyone will just get super interested in, like, seasonal Classic Era. I would be okay if that happened. If they do a good season, and people really like it, and it pulls everyone from hardcore to seasonal Classic content, it would have to be seasonal Classic content that's actually fun and actually seasonal, because... I've mentioned before that 12 months does not a season make, so you can't have a season go on for a full year. I would think the longest you can have a season go on would be half a year, and then you gotta have the next season coming out right when it ends. You know, we don't want to go for like a year season, and then have a year where we get nothing, and then have a year where we get a season. That's not how you do seasonal content. I think they have to know that at this point. So yeah, I'm hoping that we get the seasonal announcement, but then with the seasonal announcement and information, that they have information telling us, yes, we will be doing seasons every 6 months, we will be doing the seasons back to back. I hope that we hear that kind of stuff. Whenever we hear about anything Classic related, you'll notice that we have had zero news about anything Classic related besides Wrath of the Lich King. And like Wrath of the Lich King shit, like that's not like news. That's just the release schedule of like the raids coming out and rolling out. You know what I mean? It's not big news that TOC came out. That was just something that was going to happen as Wrath lives its life and dies. That was just something that was going to happen. So I don't count that kind of stuff as like Classic announcements or Classic news. The Plastic Nerd, welcome to the stream, man. Thanks for stopping by today. Espen, you don't think in 6 months that half the server will make it to 60? Oh well. That's fine. Not everybody has to make it. I'll tell you this, you know, we got to 60 in like 3 months of Season of Mastery with the XP buff. And then there was no reason to play, and a lot of people abandoned it. Nobody gave a shit. So, you know, it's like take your pick. You can have a year-long season where people stop engaging 3 months in. Or you can have a fun season that's a little bit shorter, and you can see more engagement. So yeah, I mean, Season of Mastery servers were dead in the first 3 months. So why do we need a year season? Not everybody has to make it. Not everybody has to make it because there's lots of different versions of WoW to play. You don't have to partake in seasonal content, it's a choice. So if you don't think you can get to max level in 6 months, then you don't have to play. I don't feel like I played a lot during Season of Mastery, you know, for like a WoW player. I wasn't playing even nearly as much as I play right now. And they did the XP buff and we got to level in a few months. I don't even know if it was a few months. I can go back and check the VODs. I played for like an hour and a half, 2 hours a day max back then. And I didn't even play every day. And yeah, with the little XP buff they gave, you don't need a year. You don't need a year, and with the XP buff, you don't need 6 months. But if it took them leaving the XP buff in to give us a shorter season, then I'd be okay with the XP buff. If that's what it takes to not have a year-long season, then it can stay. What I'd really like to see out of Blizzard, and I'm surprised we haven't seen anything yet, would be... Usually they'll send out a poll to like kind of collect information about ideas that they're planning in the future. And it would be really cool to see them toss out like a bunch of ideas for seasonal content, and then like ask the players what they would like to see most. Maybe we don't have that poll because they don't have any cool ideas on what to put in the season. Maybe that's why no such thing ever went out. Because you'd think if they had a bunch of ideas, they'd only be able to do a couple of them, and, you know, maybe it would be a good idea to get feedback from players on what they'd like to see. Since they haven't done anything like that yet, they probably just have their own idea of what the season's going to be. And I just, like, all I hope in my heart is that it involves more than an experience buff. If it has to also have the experience buff for people to feel like they can level quickly enough, then I guess I would be okay with that, as long as it was only the 50%. In Season of Mastery, what killed SOM for me, because we were going to do a Horde run too. We did an Alliance run, we got the Warrior to 60, and I was going to do a Horde run. And then one day I logged in and the experience buff that was 50%, which was enough to give like a nice long journey, but you didn't get bogged down in like the level 30s through 50s. They put it up to 100% bonus. So like out of nowhere, with nobody asking them to do so, they just drastically increased how fast you were leveling again. And then like the floor of it fell out from under me, and it didn't feel like a journey anymore that was meaningful. So there's a fine line for me in Classic Era about how much you just like get rid of the journey, because it is all about the journey. Yes, there are raids to do, yes there are endgame dungeons, but not to the scope of which, and not in the way that you play endgame in other versions of WoW. Here's the two. I saw them this time before we were right up on them. Let's ignore them and we'll go up here to the ogres. You can do dungeons in hardcore, Thomas. You can do dungeons exactly once. So part of the made-up hardcore rules is that you can only kill a boss one time per character. And obviously also, if you die in the dungeon run, you are just as dead as if anything else kills you. But yeah, you can do the dungeons one time each. It's another one of those arbitrary rules. Like that's one of the rules that I would not mind seeing that lifted. People have a belief, and it's totally a wrong belief, that if we gave people the ability to do dungeons as much as they want, that no one would ever do anything in the world. And it's totally wrong, especially in hardcore, where a lot of players simply don't feel comfortable risking it in a 5-man group. And so there would not be everybody doing dungeons. There would be a few people who would really appreciate the ability to run dungeons more than once, so that they could actually gear up. But yeah, currently on the current rules, we're limited to one per character. Ivan, I appreciate you being here though when you can. We probably will hit 40 within the next hour and a half to 2 hours. Yeah, I feel like I probably could have been grinding on guys that were a little bit higher level. Like maybe sticking with the rock elementals could have seen this done a little bit faster. Because yeah, we're getting there, but we're not getting there with any kind of rapidity. Yeah, Thomas, exactly. Like this could take a while, so you might not end up missing as much as you think. So yeah, we're definitely going to do it. It's definitely going to get done today. We're only 4 bubbles away now, so now it has to get done. But it's going to be the longest 4 bubbles, you know. Besides the last 4 bubbles that take us from 59 to 60, these are probably going to be the hardest ones to get through. It'll be like that meme, 12 hours later. Yeah, my 8-year-old loves that meme. He likes to ascribe random amounts of time to that, like 5 years later, 18,000 years later, a million years later. Robert, good afternoon to you as well. Thank you for stopping by. And Troy asks, in hardcore rules, what prevents higher levels from speedrunning lower level tunes through dungeons? Right now, just that you can only do the dungeon once. What's the motivation for a character to do that, though? Because you can't trade them, so you're not going to be able to like pay anybody to run you through. You can't give them anything. You can't trade. And also, like, yeah, you could have situations like that, sure. I don't think in hardcore, with the current rules, even if we could do multiple dungeons on a character, you'd see a lot of people running lower levels through. For some of the same reasons, like it would still be dangerous. They've also changed a lot of the mob behavior in Classic so that like higher level people can't like... Basically there's no experience to be gained from it. Because when you have a higher level in your group, I'm pretty sure they've got the dungeon rules to a point where you don't get any experience from the kills. You get like 5 XP per kill. So yeah, you're not going to go into Shadowfang Keep as a level 25, have a level 60 with you, and get anything out of the run. You could probably get the gear, right? Like they could feed you gear. That could really be the only thing. Because you're not going to grind it for XP. Oh, these two again. Yeah, I don't want to fight these two. Let's take the one cat away, and we'll try to leash the other one. Apparently the leashes just like aren't really working today the way you would expect them to. Nothing wants to leash for us here right now. That's okay. We'll kill him then. Yeah, these two cats really love us. It's interesting. They seem to also like respawn more quickly than some other stuff in the area. I'll just keep targeting them, and we'll just kill them every time they're up. Who gave us underwater breathing? Did that just happen? Did the Warlock give us underwater breathing? That's a little bit weird. I had no idea Warlocks could give underwater breathing to themselves or to anybody else. I thought only Shaman could do that. The more you know. That's actually really cool. I mean, it's useless to us right now because I don't think there's a single scrap of water in this entire zone. But it's really cool that they can do that. People love killing these ogres. It's probably for the quest. It's probably why they're not really good for just farming them, because every time we're back here fighting them, somebody else is also trying to fight them. So, with that in mind, I mean, we could just head south back over to the rock elementals. And we could fight every stealth panther on the way, of which there will probably be plenty. Like this guy right here. Right, we can never use it. I feel like he wanted to give me whatever he could. And it seems like the underwater breathing is probably the only thing he can cast on somebody else. I think all the other buffs he gets just from his pet. Yeah, exactly. He had nothing else he can give us, right? He's like, here, I spent some mana on you. Enjoy the thought. It's the thought that counts, right? I try to remember to buff people. I have like a 50-50% success rate when it comes to remembering to buff other players. It's been easier recently just because there have been less players around. So now when I see another player, I do try to buff them, whereas like in the past when there's like hundreds of players, I don't have the mana to buff every single person like around me. If I do that, then it's like I never have the mana to fight. And the thing about hardcore is, like, you can buff a bunch of people, and if you do that, you can get yourself into a bad situation where suddenly you have no mana, and you're in a fight. So, like, now it's easier, because now it's like the people are few and far between. What would really help me, though, is if I don't have, like, old ranks out. Like, I have a Blessing rank 2 here. I think the current rank is 3. Yeah, rank 3, and then rank 4. At level 8 in Elwyn, my guess is a Murloc. I don't know. Oh, okay. No, I don't know what that says, unfortunately. I'm not that smart. Maybe not a Murloc, though. In BFD, I always get disconnected in the water. So, yeah, anything that... I do wish I could always have underwater breathing in Black Fathom Deeps. Because there's a part in there where you have to go underwater, and like every time I've done it since Classic has been out, I've gotten DC'd. And the shitty thing about that DC is like what happens is it teleports you, when you log back in, you're at the start of the instance. You're not in the water where you were fighting around the Turtle Island. You are back at the start of the instance. And it's happened to me on every single BFD run that I've ever been on since Classic launch. And so yeah, it's the water's bad. It's like the DC we had off the coast of Desolus. But it puts you at the beginning of the instance. And what sucks is like oftentimes when I'm in there, I'm there as a tank. And it sucks when your tank suddenly goes offline, and then when they come back online, they're at the start of the instance for some reason, and your group is like fighting something. And on hardcore, that would absolutely get a group killed. Because you're fighting Naga at that point underwater. People are getting frozen in place. Your tank disconnects. When he reconnects, he's nowhere near you to help. So yeah, BFD is on the no-fly list for hardcore ever, unfortunately. I needed no more drops. Nothing cool yet. We're just slowly slogging our way through the bubbles here. We've had like some double cougar action where like we've got jumped by a couple of stealth cats that were stacked on top of each other in a very misleading manner. And that was probably the most exciting thing that's happened. Raw, I think I've died in a lot of the starting zones. Like, what starting zones have I died in? Elwyn Forest, we got the Warlock killed. Against Princess, we got our first Paladin killed. How else have we died in starting zones? I feel like it's definitely happened to a couple of characters. And then the second Warlock died in Loch Madan, so not technically a starting zone, but we were only level 11, so we were like, we could have still been in a starting zone at that point. I'd say the average age of our characters in hardcore is like level 20 has been like the averaged age. If you were to add them up and divide them, probably be around 20. I'm definitely due for like a green drop pretty soon. Like another of the bear item would be good. Another plate, a plate of the bear like chest piece. I'd love to be able to rock a plate chest piece right at level 40. That would be awesome. Alex, you got killed by an orc griefer with a pet named Princess. See, I've never seen anything like that happen. I've been lucky, I guess. I'm aware that people can do that, but I've just never seen it. It feels like it takes a lot of setup. And a lot of effort to get somebody killed in that way. But I guess they must get some kind of satisfaction out of it. Viper, that's absolutely correct. Yep. Yeah, you can only kill the boss one time. One time per character. And people have different reasons why they think the restriction is an okay restriction. To me, it's a roleplay restriction. To me, it's just roleplay. But people worry about people being run through dungeons, you know. And the thing is, like, you could technically have a higher level person run you through a dungeon today if you can convince them to do it. I mean, does it invalidate your hardcore run? Yeah, maybe, but does the add-on automatically track that? I'm not sure. I am not sure. Like, if you group up with a level 60 at this level and they run you through a Scarlet dungeon, are you going to be invalidated because that level 60 has done that dungeon twice? Or 3 times? Or 100 times? Especially if you're only doing it the first time. Is there anything in the add-on that would invalidate you for having a high-level character run you through it? Because I kind of doubt that there is. Yeah, and if they really wanted to, they could just turn the add-on off while they had somebody run them through. You know, right now there's so many ways that a person could cheat, right? And it's like, well, why cheat at a self-imposed challenge? I have no idea, but I know that people definitely do it. I would rather we open up dungeons to be ran multiple times, and then if we need to have other restrictions, we can kind of work those in. If they're, yeah, like the restriction of like everybody has to be at level for the dungeon. That's an easy restriction. So if you ever go into a dungeon with somebody who's higher level than the dungeon, boom, you know, done, disqualified. So that's an easy one. Like if the worry of people being able to do dungeons multiple times, if the worry is that higher level characters will start to run lower level characters through, we can fix that. We can fix that with a different restriction. Yeah, and then we can just let groups that are at level run a dungeon as much as they want to risk it. That's kind of what I would like to see. I don't even think, like, it would be easy just to say if you have someone in your group who's outside of the level range, it doesn't let you guys zone into the dungeon. Like, it just won't let you in. That would be what I'd like to see. JW, what if you ding in the dungeon? If you ding in the dungeon and it pushes you one level past, you're grandfathered in until you leave that instance. So you're in the run, okay? It let you in, you dinged once, absolutely fine. Now you're one level above the dungeon. You just can't do it again. You're already in that run, you dinged, that's awesome. You leave the instance, and now you just can't get back into that instance. You're not doing that one anymore, you know? It would be really easy for it just to be set up so that if you hit that instance wall and you got somebody in your group that's out level for the dungeon, it just doesn't let your group in. Doesn't let you in. Gives you a little error message, and then you sort your stuff out. You kick that person out of your group, you get somebody at level. But yeah, if you ding in the dungeon, that's absolutely fine. You know, because you're not going to have to die and run back. Because if you die, you're not coming back. So yeah, I think that works fine. I love 5-man content, and like, it would be more appealing to me to think like if we could do a little bit more of it, and if we had like a static group of people, it would be really interesting to me to do more hardcore 5-mans. Especially the lower level stuff, like all the way up through like Zul'Farrak. You know, I probably wouldn't do like BRD or any of the more labyrinthine ones, like Sunken Temple is very labyrinthine. But yeah, I would definitely love running the earlier stuff multiple times. Lisa, thanks for stopping by the stream. We're about to get 40, but it's probably going to be like another hour at least of grinding. But we're getting there, yeah. We've got less than 3 bubbles to go, so it is definitely happening today. I saw a rogue, but he's taken off. Viper, I might have an active donate button on my page that's like through PayPal, but I'd say just don't worry about it, man. Just hang out and enjoy the show. You do not need to worry about it. It is okay. JW, basically, if I get this character to 60, that's kind of the end of the journey for me. I don't have a big interest in hardcore raids. I maybe wouldn't mind making the character immortal and doing some endgame stuff, but I'd really rather save that. I'd really rather save endgame stuff either for the official hardcore server, but more to the point, I'd like to save endgame vanilla stuff for the new season at the end of the year. You know, we're gonna have a new season of Classic Era sometime probably like November, December, and I'd really like to save endgame stuff for them because I feel like we could all get into a guild and we could do stuff together. And without the hardcore restrictions, you know, it'd be a lot more enjoyable to run endgame stuff without trying to do like a super try-hard, hardcore raid, you know, where I end up getting everybody killed. So yeah, I'm just going to do the challenge. I'm hoping that by the time we get this character to 60, the official hardcore servers will be either starting up or will have already started up. And we'll transition right into the shaman. Patrick, welcome to the stream, man. Thanks for stopping by. Mark, the app on the iPhone you can't sub through that, you gotta use a browser. Yeah, that makes sense. It sounds like a silly limitation that YouTube would have. JW, that's such a broad question. I don't even think I can answer that. Do I think that add-ons and parsing have helped destroy the soul of WoW? I don't know if it's fair to put those two things together so exclusively, because I feel like those are two different things. And I won't speak of the soul. The only thing I can really speak of in retail is my own recent experiences. And I will say that the mentality that a person has to play with to feel like they can ever succeed at high Mythic Plus keys has created a culture of players in 5-man content in WoW that is incredibly toxic. That is absolutely no fun at all to play in 5-man content anymore in retail WoW. And I feel like it's just, and this was my experience, we were doing normal runs, but even the people doing normal runs are playing them like they're practicing for Mythic Plus 20 keys, so they're going as fast as they can. They're pulling 30 or 40 enemies at a time, even if they can't tank it, and they are doing all the skips and stuff like that, and that's not the way that I enjoy the game, and it just seems like it creates this culture of toxicity and frustration and anger among the player group that is trying and striving to like get those higher mythic keys. And a lot of that is like, those are like not people that have awesome static groups, they are not people that have awesome guilds, they are people kind of trying to pug life it, but they're also trying to get all their mythic clears at a high key level, and that has just created a terrible environment for 5-man content. Yeah, and that's really, I guess that's as close as I can really come to answering that question because of just my limited experience with WoW retail, and especially endgame stuff. I mean, the soul of WoW lives on in me, and it lives on in you, and it lives on in all of us. And anytime you're enjoying a version of WoW, you are bolstering the soul of the game. So I don't think the soul of the game can ever be dead, as long as there are versions of the game that people are enjoying. And like what add-ons have done over the years is add-ons have changed the way that Blizzard makes the game. Add-ons have changed the way that Blizzard designs their content. And like I think that is negative, but I think it's just like that's how it is. People are going to use add-ons. People are going to use add-ons to help them play the game better unless you take a hard stance on add-ons and you say no, kind of like the way Final Fantasy XIV kind of says no to gameplay affecting add-ons. Yeah, which can be like a tough line to even describe. I had blacksmithing on this character, but we dropped blacksmithing a long time ago because it was the most tedious, awful thing, and I regretted taking it immediately. So I gave up on blacksmithing on this character quite a time ago. I swear, we have to watch for the giant because the giant comes from this direction, and if I don't keep putting my camera in that direction, he is eventually going to be right behind us, and that's going to be bad. Viper, I appreciate that, my man. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. You think I'll have the 1,000 gold for epic riding at 60? Yeah, maybe, because we don't have to buy like any other training. We are just like banking money. We can't use it. We can't use it on the auction house. We can't do anything with the gold that we're getting. That's it. Miles, yeah, it felt like blacksmithing was gonna get worse and worse and worse as far as like how many materials I needed to try to level it at all. And I just wasn't in for that, so I bailed out of it, and I didn't replace it with anything either. And so occasionally I still mine stuff sometimes. I probably don't do all the mining that I would do if I were trying to push blacksmithing forward, because we're just selling the materials anyway. But I do mine sometimes. That being said, I've left a gold vein over here. I don't even know what level gold is, or if we can even mine it. But we're gonna find out. It turns out we can absolutely mine it. We're gonna have to deal with this cat first. I feel like it's definitely better for us to be fighting higher level enemies on this class. Especially when they're spread out a bit, there's not like a lot of danger. I feel like fighting the green stuff, we don't kill them fast enough to make it worth fighting them, because we're still blowing through all of our mana in every battle. Oh god, I see it! I see the shadow! Oh, Jesus. Oh gosh. Okay, okay, I saw the shadow, guys. The effing shadow. Oh, how did he not aggro us? Oh, shit. How did he not aggro us? Giants tend to have like a smaller aggro radius anyway. That was a jump scare. I saw the shadow and my heart sank. Oh my god. I told you that as soon as I stopped pointing the camera that way, he was gonna pop up. And like the draw distance is so short. Like he's like 20 yards from us somewhere. We can't see him. It's heinous. Yeah, there he is. Look at this draw distance. That's like 30 yards, 40 yards. It's nothing. It's nothing, and he'll kill us, you know? It's like the draw distance here is literally trying to get us killed. Oh my god, that's terrifying. Okay. It's okay. I want to get on the other side of him so I don't have to worry about him walking up on us. I don't think he does an about face anytime soon. I think he's going to do like a big rout. Okay. Yeah. We're fine. It's all fine now. My wife just brought me a meatball sub, so I'm gonna probably try to find somewhere relatively safe to go camera dark and munch on it while we fight stuff. This might not be that place, but we'll see. Alright, yep, I'm gonna go on mute for a couple minutes and I'm gonna go camera dark. I am still gonna be fighting some stuff, but I am primarily gonna be eating. So yeah, I'll see you guys in a couple minutes here.
Yeah.
And yes, that's how fast food happens. It's already over. Yeah, it was delicious, and it was like, it's super easy to eat, right? It's like a meatball sub. It basically, it melts inside of your mouth. You barely have to chew it, so yeah, I crushed it. And I get quite hungry, and what's weird is like, while streaming I don't think about my hunger, whereas like with pre-recordings I'm thinking like, okay, I need to eat, and I'm hungry, I need to eat, but when I'm like streaming here with you guys, the hunger does not really occur to me until I'm actually eating the food, and I'm like, oh, I am really hungry. Look at that. Leather, intellect, stamina. It's a green. It's not the type of green we really wanted. But it is another green, so. Yeah, you wouldn't want to have to see me eat. I'm very slovenly. I eat quickly and then I clean myself up and then it's over, but yeah, like through the process. You wouldn't want to be there for like the eating process. This guy's non-aggressive, so like, yeah, we're close to him, yeah, he's scary. We should probably mark him with something. That probably was not the right mark. I think that took my mark off of somebody else. I need to get a couple more of those marks keybound to my number pad. Oh man, I'm really hoping that my coffee doesn't run out before we ding here. I'm hoping that I got like a little bit of coffee left. With the Yeti mug, it's deceiving because the Yeti mug is kind of hefty, and so like you lift it and your brain tells you that you have a certain amount of coffee. But you don't. You don't have as much coffee as you think because the mug is heavier than like a normal ceramic mug. And so like I think I have one bubble of coffee left here, and I think we have 2 bubbles to ding, so kind of in a precarious situation. Tim, good afternoon, good evening, man. Thank you for being here. We're getting closer and closer to 40. We just might not have enough coffee to get us there. Reno, the orc grunts? Yes. Yeah, the orc grunts in the music track. Always felt like a strange addition to me. And they happen like randomly, it seems. The weird part is hearing that soundtrack when you're on an Alliance character actually is a little bit strange. Since when has YouTube figured out how to put live gaming in the general recommended section on YouTube? I don't know, but I'm glad if they figured out how to do that, I'm happy. If they could figure out any way to like show people when a stream is scheduled and when a stream is live, like, and have it be more accessible, that would make me happy. And it probably would make some other people happy too. YouTube doesn't really seem the best at like showing people a scheduled stream or really anything. So if it's popping up more in like the general recommendations while the stream is up, that's cool, because it definitely does not show the VOD to anybody. Like when you do a stream on YouTube and then the VOD lives up on the channel after that, the VOD's never really going to get shown to anybody who's not seeking it out. So it doesn't push the VOD the way that it would push a recorded video even after the stream ends. It treats the VODs very, very differently. And I kind of wish it would just treat them like a pre-recorded video after they're live and push them to the same amount of people that it would push them to otherwise. But it doesn't do that. Just for reference, this guy is non-aggressive, right? No, this guy is aggressive. Why did I think he was non-aggressive? Robert, that's an aggressive mob, man. For some reason I thought he was yellow. But he's not. He's aggressive AF. I don't need to be by him. Donald, I'm good. Are you okay? I hope you're doing well. You tossed some information at me that I don't understand, but besides that, I'm fine. It's a lot of question marks, though. Indeed, sir. That's how we're gonna deal with that for today. we're gonna take the easy road of dealing with that for today. I'm too close to 40 to really get into it with a troll, you know. I think that's gonna be like how I have to respond more than I would like to, especially when I'm trying to relax and have a good time. I feel like that response, like I feel like giving somebody one chance to say something sensible is appropriate, and then if somebody continues saying things that are just not sensible to me, I just have to be done with it. Richard, good evening. Thank you for stopping by, man. We're gonna get 40 really soon. Yeah, a bubble and a half. Is bubble hearthing allowed in hardcore? It's a written rule that it's not. We had a big talk about it earlier, and I probably won't talk about it again today. But yeah, it's technically not allowed. Yeah, Tim, I started to get that idea. As much as like a part of me, there will still be trolls that I will reverse troll. That will still happen. But it can't just be random nonsense. If it's just random nonsense and I can't even have any fun with it, then I'm probably just going to handle it that way. If it's not even going to be fun for me to deal with, if it's going to be so stupid and nonsensical, like, then it's just it's gonna happen that way. And yeah, I feel like it's definitely better for everybody. Yeah, I like it more when they think they're good at trolling and they give me just enough to like reverse troll them a little bit. That guy wasn't gonna give me anything, so. And I just wasn't in the mood to reverse troll even. Reno, I don't know what that means. So same thing as the last person who said something that I don't know what it means. I'll ask for clarification once. and that's basically all. I should do a stream one evening where you can only speak if you are trolling. That's an interesting concept. Like I can only speak if I'm trolling, or like you guys can only speak if you're trolling. Both. It's just a trolling on both sides, and that's like the only communication that happens. I think that some people would enjoy that kind of content. I feel like in some streams and some chats, like that is what happens. I feel like that has probably happened. Thankfully, it hasn't happened here. I have a love-hate relationship with trolls. Like I said, sometimes I find it really fun to reverse troll somebody in like very unique ways that they don't anticipate. Other times I just can't be bothered with it. I'm fairly good at letting a person get themselves more and more agitated as they don't get the responses or reactions from me that they want to. I've gotten rid of. I've talked a few people out of the chat without having to hide them from the channel. But sometimes I'm just not gonna want to do it, and I realize that I don't have to, you know. Ra, I don't even want them to sub and come back. I don't want their troll money. Yeah, I'd rather they just go find somewhere else to exist where they're gonna be more satisfied with like the reactions they get from people. And it's like, nah, once I press that button, once I push that button, there's no coming back. And like, I'm not gonna push the button a lot. That's the thing, is like, I don't really want to push the button a lot, and I don't feel like I'll have to. But once I do, it's final. I believe that people change, but like Eminem said, people change, but often for the worse. And when we're talking about trolls, I feel like that's usually the way a troll is gonna change. People troll in weird ways. It's like when they see someone who's super calm, like, and this is a reaction like that I kind of understand. When they see someone who seems like they're super calm in a vacuum, a lot of people think like, I'm gonna get this guy riled up. A lot of people like to try to just get you talking about stuff. And like, to me, that's like a subtle troll, like asking the same question over and over again every time you're in the stream and stuff like that. That's like subtle trolling when people just want to make you talk, and like, I kind of understand that. Like, you're in a stream, you're here to be entertained, you want to make me say stuff. But, you know, there's only so much that I'm going to say about certain things. And like, when someone doesn't muster enough intellect to even start their trolling with something interesting, then that's probably when I'm just going to go for the kick button. If it starts off as something like thought out and interesting, then I will sometimes play along. Asman put out a clip yesterday and remembered a troll he unbanned 6 months ago, and then he rebanned him. Yeah, you kinda do remember people, especially like if they say the same kinds of things. Like, I might not recognize or remember your name, but I will remember like how you spoke and the things that you said, and the way that you said them, and that's gonna stick out to me probably more than someone's name. But like, Asman's got like a 300 IQ. Like, yeah, he probably remembers the name of everybody that he's ever kicked from his chat. I don't have that kind of memory. I will remember more of the things that a person said and like the level of stupidity that they put forth. Yeah, Miles, it was an old Penny Arcade skit from back in the day that basically, it was like a diagram, and it was like anonymity plus an audience equals an asshole. And like, while that's not true of like a lot of people, I feel like some people it's definitely true. It's been a fact as long as the internet has been alive that for some people giving them anonymity just makes them into a huge asshat. Because they're a huge asshat in real life too, but they are constrained by what's called physical consequences of being an asshat in real life. You know what I mean? Real life has a lot of immediate physical consequences that happen to people who are assholes to other people. But the internet has none of those immediate physical reactions, so it frees some people up to be the troll or the horrible person that they really are. At least they get to be fulfilled in some way, I guess.
Oh, do I have a deal for you? Hurry back!
I like the asshat hat. I feel like that has to already have been taken by somebody. Yeah, but Bob Ross never had to deal with trolls trying to troll him in real time. That's the difference. The vibe kind of gets shattered a little bit sometimes when you have to deal with people. Most definitely. Bob Ross was an ex-Army drill sergeant? I did not know that about Bob Ross. That's amazing. I can kind of see it. He was so soft-spoken because he was sick of shouting. I definitely get that. I could definitely understand why how someone could get sick of shouting at somebody. And how like that could prompt you to want to be quieter later in life. Edwin, what do I use to record my gameplay? When I'm doing pre-recorded stuff, I use NVIDIA Shadowplay. Like when I'm doing the immersive recordings, when I'm not streaming, I use NVIDIA Shadowplay. When I'm streaming, I just stream with OBS. And when I stream through YouTube like that, the YouTube keeps the VOD up and puts the VOD up, so I don't have to record my gameplay when I'm streaming. But yeah, when I do record, I use NVIDIA Shadowplay. Very simple, very easy to use, and it's never failed me in a way that wasn't my fault. Whereas when I've tried to use OBS to actually record in the past, sometimes OBS hangs when it tries to finish up like a big file. Like if you record for like an hour with OBS, I've found that like sometimes it just hangs and it doesn't finish compiling the video. And then you have like an hour of play that just didn't get properly recorded. So I stick with NVIDIA for recording stuff. The specs on my PC, I have a 3070 RTX. My processor is an AMD, and I'm rocking, I don't know if I have 16 gigs of RAM or 32. If I don't have 32, I have the space for 32. But yeah, so it's not like, you know, it's not the best graphics card, but I built this PC about a year ago now, maybe a little bit less than a year ago. And I built it through iBuyPower. And it was a really good experience. And at the time, I got a pretty good deal for my money. Now chips were not as prevalent when I built the PC. So if I built it now and I spent the same amount of money, I would probably be able to put like a 4070 in it or something like that. But at the time that I built the graphics cards, they were coming down in price, but they were still pretty expensive, and they've come down a lot more in price since. To get more specific, I'd have to pop my DX diag, but if I pop my DX diag up, you're not going to see it anyway because I'm streaming the application and not my desktop, so. Yeah, I mean, especially for the games that I play, the 3060 is more than powerful enough right now. My old rig had a 2060 in it, which was okay, except that the processor in my old rig was like 11 or 12 years old. So that part of the machine was getting super dated. And that was what prompted me to build a new rig. I'll probably have this rig for a long time, and what I'll do is eventually I'll get a 40 series card. Eventually, maybe in a year or so, I'll want to upgrade to a better graphics card. But I think the rest of the rig, like the processor and stuff, is probably going to be fine for quite some time. Mine has flashy lights now too, and when I first built it, I didn't think I was going to like that, but it's kind of cool. My RAM right now is like running through different colors as it flashes. It's kind of neat. It's probably just a big power waste to have it making all those lights that I don't really get to see or appreciate. But yeah, I didn't find it annoying. At first I thought having the lights would be annoying, but it's actually kind of cool. Yeah, it's definitely a decent time to build rigs right now. The price of everything is like way down. And I can only kind of assume that the price will just continue to go down, especially now that we're out of the chip shortage and stuff. You get caught in this trap of waiting because you know like the longer you wait on building a rig, the cheaper parts are going to be, but then like the longer you wait, newer technology comes out. So it's like you have to find this balance of like when do I need to build a new rig and when do I want to upgrade, and like it's tough. Yeah, that does sound like an expensive one. I think my rig only costs just over $2,000 to build at the time that I built it. If I built the same computer today with the same components, it would probably only cost like $1,600. Just because stuff has gotten so much cheaper than it was even when I built this rig. These ogres. These ogres are not, they're not elites. Where am I on the map? Okay, I'm just in like some weird spot we've never been in. which I don't really feel good about. Maybe I should head back towards areas that I'm actually familiar with, because we have a half bubble to go. I'd hate for anything to go sideways. Yeah, Lael, I had to do the same thing, like lay money aside, and then like the hard part of doing that is like you keep thinking to yourself, well, maybe if I wait, I'll be able to, things will be cheaper and I can get a better deal. Eventually, you just have to pull the trigger on it. Yeah, you can't keep up with the technology. That's true. You have to build a rig and be happy with it for a certain amount of years. You have to like kind of make that choice for yourself. Because, I mean, unless you got, like, tons of cash to throw around. Obviously, if you're, like, an Asmongold or a Co-Carnage, you just build, like, the best rig you want whenever you want it. You put the best stuff in it, and then when there's better stuff, you put that stuff in it, and it's fine. But yeah, I think for most people, like, building a rig is, like, a big choice, and it has to be, like, a tactical decision that you make at the right time. With the knowledge that, you know, you're always going to feel a loss of value after even a little while. You're going to see prices come down, and like the rig that you built is not as expensive as it was when you built it. That's just going to be something that naturally happens. We're kind of getting to a point where like there isn't going to be a lot of reason to keep making video cards so much more powerful because of all the stuff they can already do. I wonder like how much more power do we need? Yeah, Miles, absolutely. I do feel like they push out new generations of graphics cards now faster than they ever have in history. It's crazy. Like, by the time I got my 2060, the 30 series was out. By the time I got my 3070, the 40 series was out. It's like, yeah, like, I'm never going to keep up. Even if you spend the absurd amount of money to be, like, right on the cutting edge of it, like, you're not going to be on the cutting edge for very long. And yeah, what it does is it gets people who have that money to spend that money, you know, every generation. And the rest of us just build the rig that we're happy with and we use it for as long as we can. But there are definitely lots of people who, like, they want to have the newest stuff and they have the money to afford it. And those are the people that they pull in by releasing new hardware so often. Right, Tom. It's yeah, like an 8K TV. Like you're not gonna really perceive much difference between 4K and 8K. It's this for me. It's the same thing with video games. When people want to have their frame rate faster than 60 FPS, your human eyes can't perceive anything any faster than 60 FPS. So if you want to rock your game at 250 FPS, that's fine. It's not going to look any better than my game looks at 60. In fact, my game being locked at 60 in VSync is going to give me a smoother experience than a variable frame rate that's going to slide anywhere from 60 to 200. And so, like, I've never understood that about some gamers, that they want that bigger frame rate, and it's like, you can't see it. You can't notice anything past 60, really, so why do you need a 240 frame rate? It doesn't make any sense. You literally can't perceive the difference. You have a hardware limitation. It's called your eyeballs and your brain. It might seem different in how it performs, but my point is, like, you can't see more than 60 FPS. There might be a visual way that it looks different, but I don't think that necessarily different is going to be better. Let's just put it this way. I guess more to the point, I wouldn't probably care about any visual perception difference. I've been playing games in 60 FPS forever, and regardless of my hardware specs, I'd probably just keep locking them at 60 FPS. It's just a habit. Yeah, like you literally can't perceive stuff past a certain point. It's like whatever it might look different. It doesn't necessarily mean that you are seeing more. You know, you're not seeing between the frames to see like double 60 frames a second. You're not doing it. Now, when you're looking at something in 30 frames, then you are losing frames. There are frames that you could perceive that you're not, and that's why 30 FPS looks like trash and 60 FPS looks normal. We're about to ding. It's going to be soon. It's going to be three or four more fights. 3 or 4 more fights. Yeah, exactly, Thomas. I think that the hertz will definitely affect what the screen looks like. You know what I mean? Like, changing that setting is going to affect what the screen looks like to your eyes. What it's not going to do is let you see more FPS. It's just not. Like, it might look different at the higher refresh rate, and it might even, like, maybe even look graphically better. But it's like you wouldn't be missing anything by running it at a solid 60 that you would be able to perceive at a higher frame rate. Even though, like, I get that with the refresh rate, it probably looks a little different. And especially, obviously, if you have a 144 refresh rate, you're not gonna run at 60 FPS, right? You would want to run at like a lower refresh rate to match the 60 FPS. But you know, I mainly play WoW, so it doesn't affect me. I'm playing on a 1920 by 1080 monitor because I can't even really be bothered to buy an expensive gaming monitor for what I do and what I play. Okay, I predict 2 more enemies. 2 more enemies, if we can find them. Yeah, it's gonna happen any second now. It could be this fight, but it looks like it'll probably be the next one. What do we need? I can't do that math. I don't think it'll be this fight though. Yeah. We might even have one more to do after this one. Is it your eyes that can't see or your brain that can't process? It's a little bit of column A and a little bit of column B. Yeah, I guess technically, if you could perceive the world in higher FPS, then things for you would move more slowly, I feel like. If you were able to see the world in 120 frames a second, that would just mean that you were seeing things, like, kind of slowed down and spaced out. Because there wouldn't be any more actual physical frames happening. That might be like an existential wormhole to go down into, that we don't need to go down into right now. When you see between the frames, you can predict the future. A cannon? I'm not actually sick of running around. Yeah, for some reason, like, we have been grinding for probably longer than I've ever just grinded on enemies. You know, I don't often just grind on enemies this long. But today it hasn't been bad. I've really enjoyed it, and I think it's because I set out to do this. Like, I knew what I was getting into when I sat down. I knew that mainly I was going to run around and grind stuff. Now, I will be happy when we get to go into another area, because I am getting kind of sick of the sights of the Badlands a little bit. So it will eventually be a relief when we're somewhere else. Yeah, I can't believe we haven't got it yet. You need a lot of experience per bubble. It's kind of crazy. Maybe this guy, maybe he does it. Let's check. Somebody can do that math, but it looks like it might be this guy. And then we can train plate. We have a plate helmet we can equip right away. It's going to be good. Hey, there we go. Excellent. There we go. Alright, so now let's hearth out of here, because I'd hate for anything to happen to us. So yeah, we're gonna hearth out. That's gonna get us to Booty Bay, and then we're gonna fly to Stormwind. Very, very cool. Whew. It's been quite a morning, guys. Yeah, this has been good. Let's get ourselves over to Stormwind. So we're now in like the 1% of created hardcore characters. Like only 1% of created characters make it to level 40. So we are in the 1% club. It's the only 1% club that I'll ever be a part of in my life. So I have to love it. Craig Jones, thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. That's super generous of you. Thanks for being here. Alright, let's get on a flight. 3 minutes and 40 seconds. And so yeah, we don't have to go to the lumber camp at all, because we don't have to train riding either, right? We just talk to our class trainer and we get the spell. So we should only have to go to Stormwind. Yeah, Lael, 20 to go, and 20 levels to go, and like 150 more hours to go. What's our slash played, I wonder? Let's see. Slash played at level 40. 4 days, 20 hours. Wow, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Thanks for hanging out. I know you've been really excited, probably as excited as I am for us to get 40. And we won't be wearing much plate for a long time, unfortunately. Yeah, we have to start working on our plate collection now. Yeah, the talent point, absolutely. I think we're just, it's, you know, we have no sexy options right now. Oh, you know, we could go into two-handed weapon spec. That's nicer than continuing to reduce the mana cost of our judgments and seals. Maybe we go with this, a flat 2% more damage. Sounds really good. So yeah, we'll start going into this now. I forgot that we were trying to open this up. Yeah, we're gonna go there. Flat damage increase is good. Grey Legs, hey man, welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by. Alright, so yeah, and I don't think I'll respec now. Obviously we don't have you know, I might respec into Seal of Command. That's what I might do. I might catch a respec into Seal of Command while we have this slow two-hander. And we're still waiting to see if maybe we can get a one-hander while this shield is still relevant. It's a level 33, so like I'll give it like 4 more levels of being a relevant shield. This would normally be the level where like you'd hit the auction house and you would try to find like any plate gear you could. Even if it was like of the whale stuff, just because the amount of armor that you're going to get from plate is so much more than the chainmail. But we are just going to have a slow time. We're going to have to figure out where we can get some plate from Quest. And then I think the first dungeon that we would go into that drops plate would be probably Zul'Farrak. Zul'Farrak would drop plate for sure. I don't think any of the Scarlet Monastery dungeons drop any plate. I'm pretty sure it's all chain. Mark with the 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, man. That's super generous. And welcome to the 5 new people. That's awesome. Canon, on this character, maybe we might... I've been contemplating an armory run just to see what we can get to drop. I'm not sure though, because I'm not convinced that it's going to be worth the risk. Oh, cue up the loud AF Stormwind music. Oh, the plate vendor. Yeah, they might have some greens. I'm not sure where I would look for that person. Leather... Heavy armor merchants are in Old Town. I could check there, and it's possible that they might have a green or something. Sorry, a green or something that's worth it, you know. On the official hardcore server, Ramzor, we're gonna do some dungeons. But yeah, for this character, I specifically have been avoiding them because I didn't want to die in a 5-man. I didn't want to risk it in a 5-man. Now we're at a really good threshold where I feel like we could probably run away from most dungeons. If they go sideways, we could simply run out. So we might do an armory run. We'll see. We'll see how I feel. If I can get a one-hander, if I could tank it, I'd be 100% more likely to do it if I could tank it. Going as a healer or DPS, like I don't feel as good about. So there's that. Yeah, this is the male armor merchant. Heavy must be plate. I'm assuming heavy is plate.
You need something?
No, this is male. He has male. Let's see over here. Yeah, he's got all male plate at level 45. He's got level 45 plate. But nothing with any stats on it. Yeah, that's it.
Have a good one.
There might be, like, some specialty vendors that have some stuff. We'll have to keep a lookout. For now, let's head to the trainer. Tom, but the main thing it does is it makes you a lot more visible to me in the chat, to be honest. That's one thing that it helps with. Alright, so yeah, we'll do a respec. I think we'll do a respec. We have 67 gold, so we're not exactly hurting for it. It's gonna cost us 5 gold, I think, this time around to respec. But yeah, I feel like if we're gonna have this weapon for a while, we'll try Seal of Command again. Oh, I do, definitely. Yep. Mm-hmm. What's on next? Yeah, I mean, the thing is, we could probably start putting our toes into Tannerus soon.
King's honor, friend.
That could be something we do. Ooh, look at this. I have not trained in a little while. We got Exorcism rank 3, Holy Light rank 6, Seal of Wisdom, Turn Undead, Blessing of Light. Places a blessing on the friendly target. Increases the effect of Holy Light spells used on the target. Okay, cool. Seal of Light rank 2, Plate Mail. I guess I didn't realize they called it Plate Mail. I always thought it was just called plate, and mail was called mail. But it's plate mail and chain mail, right? Interesting. Divine Intervention we don't need. Fire Resist Aura, sure. Blessing of Protection. Devotion Aura 5. Lots of stuff. Hammer of Justice 2. Shadow Resist Aura. Okay, now we're a little bit more broke. That's true.
For the Alliance.
Let's see what we need to pull out to the bar. Holy Light rank 6. Absolutely. Turn Undead. I mean, I can have Turn Undead out. I don't know when we ever will really use it. And I feel like that's basically it. Alright. Pull that out. And yeah, we can equip the plate helmet. There we go. Well, actually, I'll display that for a little while so we can see it. There we go. None of the helmets in Classic look like super awesome, but this is one of the designs that's actually okay. It doesn't quite look like a motorcycle helmet, so... It's decent, and it's kind of iconic. Alright, so... Wait. Did I, what am I missing here? we didn't learn the mount spell. Am I wrong? Did I just not see it? Because I didn't see it. Mount? That's my question to you, Miles. Mount? Where's the mount?
Light be with you.
The mount is a quest. Oh, well, it would be cool if I had that quest. Which, right now, I don't. See, I thought we were just going to click it and get it. That's why I was excited for today.
Bless you.
Now I find out there's a quest. And I get really, like, a lot less excited about that.
Well,
What is this? Let's see. The Tome of Nobility. Summon Warhorse. I greet you once again. You've never greeted me. I am more proud to call you brother than ever before. Your dedication is a tribute to us all. Okay, what do we do here? We turn it in. Perfect. That's it. That's it. Hey, that's the best quest ever. That's the kind of quest that I like. What I don't like is the Stormwind music being so loud. All right, let's mount up. I want this keybound somewhere. The quest add-on, like the one that's changing the quest text, that's Immersion. That's the Immersion add-on. There we go. That's it. That's the ticket. Whew, I have to say, guys, it feels really, really awesome. Yeah, I'm super pleased to have gotten to this point, and to have gotten our mount to be in the level 40 range now in hardcore is it's really rare. We've gotten so many characters killed in order to get here. It's been a real joy. And yeah, now we have to think about, you know, what we would do next. I think we could check out some things in Tannerus. Yeah, a lot of stuff available here, but it's all kind of a higher level. We have to wait till like at least level 42, I think, to go to Tannerus, but we'll see. I will do some research and see if I can find somewhere for us to go. That being said, we have a couple of things we could try to finish up throughout the world. And guys, we will look at those things next time. I am going to get off here for today. Thank you guys so much for being here and for hanging out with me as we ground our way to 40 and got our mount. I really appreciate you guys being here for every part of this journey that you're here for. So yeah, thank you guys so much. And as always, until next time, take care of yourselves out there and take care of each other. And we'll see you back here again very soon. Bye for now.